In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most important concepts with CSS and HTML. And in order to demonstrate what I'm talking about, I've added another image to the screen. So you can see here that I've got two images. The first one is Ray. The second one is Kylo Ren. Now, in order to make it look like this, where they were roughly the same height, I wasn't able to use the same style property. So for Kylo, I made his height 150 pixels, but for Ray, we made it width 100 pixels. So if I were going to use a style for this on the image, I wouldn't be able to use just one style, right? So if I said width 100 pixels for Ray, and I save this, and then I get rid of these styles, the style on the element itself will always overwrite any style that's in the CSS style sheet. Now when I run this, Kylo's going to be slightly bigger because his image is just proportionally different. Now I need to have a different style applied to each of these images. So how are we going to be able to do this without using the style attribute on the image tag itself? Well, that's where this concept comes in called classes. So we can add a class to an element like this. Every element has this attribute. And I can call this one Ray, and I'll call the other one Kylo. Now we can go into our CSS, and this one is Ray, really. So the selector, I want to select that class, and I just say dot Ray. So if I don't put a dot here, then I'm selecting all the elements like this. I'm saying every H1 I want to apply this style to. But if I put a dot here and then the name, that's saying I want to apply this style to any element with that particular class on it. And then for Kylo Ren, we can say Kylo, and I'll say height 150 pixels, which is what we had before. And there we go. So now we're going to apply this style to two different images and have it look how we want it to. So when we run it, it's back to the way we like it. So classes are very important, and we can see these in the debugger window here too. So here it is. I have the Kylo image selected, and I see the class that's being applied to that image. And I can change this here and play around with that, but it's going to change the element or the CSS style rather than the style attribute, and same with the one for Ray. So whenever you use the debugger, you'll be able to see all the different classes that are applied to that element right here. All right, this is a very important concept. You really need to understand it to move forward. The main thing to know that people get hung up on the most is that you can name a class whatever you want. This is a name you make up. You just got to remember to use it in your CSS, okay? This is different than before, where we're using things that already exist for us. This is the first time we're using something that's kind of called a variable, and it's because you're making it up to remember how you want to use that. So go ahead and try this out, and I'll see you in the next video.